Sonia, let me introduce you to Mike Durkin. Mike Durkin, Sonia Ellinger.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So is the dog good?
We're still in our training schedule, so.
Yeah. Is it the same dog I saw the other day?
It is, yeah. Yeah, we're going on week 2.
What's the story with the dog? Is it a shelter dog? Give us what happened what's his story?
Well, we lost our dog back in June of last year, and we went to go pick up a puppy. He's ours, so that's all there is to that. He's keeping us on our toes. He's still a puppy himself. So.
I was gonna say, how old is he?
He's just about 2, so he still has his puppy intentions. He's he's a little crazy still. Keeps us going.
We really appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate you spending this time, and we'll try to make it so it isn't a horrible experience for you.
I'm not comfortable in front of a camera. I just have to tell you.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
You're gonna forget all about it.
So Sonia, I've been, privileged to hang out with you and do some work at Foothill Food Pantry, and I guess more than anything, I just want to kind of understand a little bit about your story. You grew up in Holland Patton area?
I did. I grew up in Holland Patton. Went to Rome for my high school years. That's where I met my husband, and brought him back to Holland Patton, and we've been here ever since.
Tell me a little bit about what was your upbringing like. What did it look like in your world?
That's actually I was very familiar with Foothill Food Pantry when we were younger.
I understand.
So that's how I got back here. I was interested in helping, giving back, and that's where I came in.
No, I think it's amazing that you're able to come back and you're on the other side of it. Now you're the giver instead of the recipient, which says a lot. Prior to this 7 years ago, were you already working? You said, you know what, I don't have the fire in my belly. I'm going back to Foothills because I'm ready. Like, is there something there?
Actually, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I would, part-time jobs here and there. My husband was always the full-time person, and with the age span between our kids, that was always a kid around. Daycare was hard to find. So I actually was watching some other friends' children. When mine got old enough, I went into the school system as a teacher's assistant for a couple years, and I said, I need more. So I went and applied for the thrift shop job upstairs, and they had just found someone else, and she goes, I have a better job, more rewarding, if you will. And I know the thrift shop is very rewarding, but she was right on the money when she said that this was better. And that was Joan Kotwika, who's a very influential person in Foothills.
I didn't speak for a few minutes because I got a little choked up with what you said initially. It explains a lot about your energy, right? Mike, I've watched Sonia in action in her team. I've just been the guy that's helping to carry some boxes. Her energy is very present in the operation there. I was enamored with the operation, just how much organization, how everything's set up. And they have a pet section. So maybe Sonia, you can. So it's called Sarah's
Pet Pantry.
So what's the story behind Sarah?
So that started back in 2011, and a lady named Lois Reed started it with her own funds in tribute to her companion, who is a black lab. And if you are ever down in Sarah's Pet Pantry, you'll see pictures of Sarah, and they have a huge, big black lab stuffed animal, and just it's just a wonderful foundation that she started. It's all their own volunteers. It's their own money. They do a lot of fundraising, but it was all started by that. That is in no way funded through Foothills Food Pantry at all.
Stands on.
Yeah, it stands on its own 2 legs, four legs, basically.
4 legs.
So it's and we get donations from all the local stores and warehouses on base, and the volunteers are just wonderful.
Forgive my ignorance. So separate entities but share the same roof?
Yes. Foothills has a lot of programs under our umbrella, and Sarah's is one of the most predominant ones.
So I'm intrigued because we're animal people. Any idea the magnitude of like how many how many dogs or cats, or like what this operation on a weekly basis is handling?
I have to say it's probably about 95% of the families that come through have one or more animals. It just helps them to get through. But it's about 95% of our clientele that have animals that rely on us.
And that's unique, right? I mean, is that something that you've seen or heard in other food pantries?
There are other pet pantries out there, but not in conjunction with a food pantry.
This is what I love about conversations, because when you start to ask questions and start to think about things, because it's just funny how things come into fruition. Mike, you don't have visibility to some of these things, and then when you think about the mental health of this in the state of our world, right? And you said you're a pet person. We have our, my little dog is like my my happy pill, right? I mean, every day you come home, always, if you didn't have that, or you didn't have means to actually keep them in your space and keep that mental, it's such a underlying something that seems like is so critical, because ultimately you want people to be fulfilled and in good emotional space and being good humans, and the dogs and the cats and the pets, no pun intended, they feed that. And it's so cool that someone took that. And I think it's something we should focus on sharing that story a little bit more to help other people think through that are managing facilities and organizations like yours, Sonia.
We've had some, like I said, the other food pantries have called us and
yeah,
how can we start our own? How did you do it?
Yeah.
Looking for inspiration and some guidance on how to do it.
So the food pantry's been around for a long time. I did my own little research. But, tell us a little bit about how it got started.
Well, it was about 37 years ago, and the pastor that was at the church that we're located in now just knew that there was a need and reached out to other churches. There was about 5 churches that started it, and knew that there was a need for food in the area, and that's how it all kind of began. They just started, if you're ever in the pantry, there was a furnace room downstairs with the bright red door. That's where the food pantry was located. That was the only place.
Okay.
So it's a little teeny tiny room, and that was their storage, that was their shelving, that was it. And now we have grown to the whole basement, basically. It has grown to just about all the churches in the area, all the organizations, all the schools, everybody is just, how can we help? The VFW and the Legions, and because we do Holland Patton and Remsen School District. So there's always some kind of fundraiser and can donations and things like that they're always asking, what are you in need of? It's nice to know that the schools are starting to get involved a little bit more.
Yeah, because to me, Mike and I are doing some other stuff right now associated with schools and doing some charitable stuff to give kids sneakers and cleats. Mike.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but when you start to look and talk again, when you start to dig and scratch at the surface of a topic, you really get to see how much need there is. And the schools are a great conduit because you have everyone in one spot, and you can kind of have teachers and aides and things that are seeing kids and understanding who's happy and who's sad and who's needing new pants or shoes. And so I think it's just really powerful. So cool.
Holland Patton just was granted, I think it was a grant that brought him in, the Connected Community Schools. We were never able to actually get into the schools before with pamphlets and things of that nature. The teachers knew about us, that type of thing.
Right.
But Connected Community Schools, they're able to connect with the kids on a daily basis and kind of funnel them to us.
I like it.
Because Foothills is like an outreach program as well. And we received a call last week asking if we knew of any apartment for a family of 4 because the people were being displaced. So it was just nice to know that somebody's actually in the schools trying to help.
Yeah.
The ones that fall through the cracks, the ones that don't utilize the food pantry.
So walk me back in time, right? However many years it was when you got to where you had eyes on the food pantry. It started in that one little room. Kind of give me your take on where you found it and how you've led it to where it is now.
I actually took the reins over in 2019. We have grown, and it's really been a roller coaster ride since COVID. Numbers have changed, but we have grown into, we have a kids summer bag program that the chairperson that I took over from in 2019, her name is Cheryl Edmiston. She was there for 20 years. So she was absolutely amazing, big shoes to fill. She started the summer kids program, and it's a bag to help the kids and the parents get through their July and August months that they don't get the free breakfast and lunch at schools. Okay. And each child will get one of these bags. So that's a huge program for the 2 months to feed all the kids.
And that's 5 days a week?
The food is, it comes in a recycled plastic bag, you know, the big grocery bags that you get for $1 or $2 at the store. And it has all the food for the kids for the week. So it will have a box of cereal, a couple boxes of mac and cheese, tuna, all nutritional food that the kids will like. It's things that they would enjoy. We did a little survey early on to let them know, you know, what's your take on this? What do you enjoy? What do you like? But that goes to each child, not each family. So if they have 5 kids in the family, they're getting 5 of those bags.
No kidding.
It seems like a tremendous undertaking. And how many mouths are we talking about?
It started out as probably 75 a month, about 150, and we were up to 250.
They come to you or you go to them?
They come to us. We let them know what's going on for the next month. And we just let them know that it's going to be the kids summer bag program starting in July. Don't forget to come and visit us, tell everybody. And
it's really remarkable. I can't even imagine what the organization looks like for that. And the mental, the emotional part of it too. It's, summertime's got to be, kids love summer, but it's not the same for everybody. And that really hits home. It really hits home.
That's really the hard part, is making sure that they have the food. That's the whole part, the whole process of that. So.
You good?
I'm good.
Oh, me?
Both of you, I think.
Both of us. Yeah.
It's not a good Zoom call unless someone cries.
Yeah.
I don't have tissues, guys.
Sonia, I'm in Syracuse, and big city, right?
Yeah.
And we, when we're talking about giving back to the community here, by default, if you will, it always lends to the city, right? It's one of the most impoverished communities in the country. And we say to ourselves sometimes, oh my God, there's so much need in the city, but we always say the rural markets, it's just as needed in these outlying suburban communities, let alone the outlying secondary communities, or communities like Fulton, Oswego, Hannibal. We're not even getting there. We're working, this little 5-mile ring, south of Syracuse, downtown. The fact that you're doing that many meals in what I would consider a rural market is scary almost.
It is, and because of the rural issue, some people don't even have neighbors to let them know, hey, so-and-so needs a little help. You can't just walk across your lawn, knock on their door type of thing, or walk down the block. And that's the scary thing, is how can we reach those people that need us the most and don't know that we're here, or they can't get to us, whether they don't have a phone or whether they don't have a vehicle. So we always encourage, please tell everybody, just take a pamphlet, take our information and just pass it along, and hopefully it'll get to somebody that can use it. So.
Yeah, sometimes people just need to, sometimes you just need to hear the story told the right way, or maybe shine a light on how, when Mike and I, circle around on this, because this isn't just about a Zoom call, right? This isn't just about, yes, it's about hearing your story, Sonia, but it's also Mike and I, part of where we give back the most is trying to figure out how to connect some dots, right? And how to maybe have conversations at higher levels with other people that can if the story pulls at our heart the way it does, and the way you see us, responding to your emotional part of this, it'll pull at someone else's heart too. And sometimes it's just a matter of us having the right conversation and seeing what we can do to me, bringing people together to do that kind of stuff that's the only currency that matters to me, Yeah. So it sounds like there was already a pretty well-greased machine or engine, whatever analogy you want to use when you got there.
She did amazing. Yeah, like I said, big shoes to fill.
My understanding is people used to come down and shop, correct? And now it's changed. Walk me kind of through that.
Yes, they used to be able to sit in the big main hall where I sit now to do intake. They used to sit in there and have coffee hour type of thing and just kind of mingle while we took one by one into my office, where my office is located. And then we would take them downstairs and the shoppers would help them shop and get their pet food, and they would go back out the same way with someone helping them carry their groceries. From the pandemic, things have changed, and now people kind of have a drive-through service and they stay in their vehicle. They did stay in their vehicle. We changed that up just recently. We go out to their vehicle, we give them all their paperwork. They have a shopping list now, and we just kind of break it down for them. Have their number on their window, so their shopping list matched what they want. And the carriers, if it wasn't for volunteers, we would not be able to do this. This is huge. The carriers bring up all the food and bring it out to their vehicle. Now we are actually allowing one person per family to come in, fill out any paperwork that they need to fill out, and then return to their vehicle. So they can come in. It's, we're missing that community. We're missing that connection with them that we used to get when we sat in the office together. I mentioned before, we're part of an outreach program as well. And I don't mean, we're not able to pay their rent or, turn their electric on or anything, but we can give them the numbers to help them get through. It's not just to 911, not just to social services. It's to other outreach numbers that we have. And that's what we're there for, is to make their lives a little bit easier, so they're not as stressed. So
the community piece that's missing now, do you see a difference in where it's something missing, where they're feeling it? The people coming in are commenting to say that they missed that piece, Sonia, or is it just your observation?
It's our observation, but we have had some people say, "Oh, we love this. It's so streamlined and in and out faster and just very, sleek." And we have others that we're probably the only people that they would chat with for the week, even the month. Yeah. And those are the people that you worry about, the ones that tug at your heartstrings, that you have to make sure that they're stable and okay and have everything that they need. We're also thinking with the new building, like a little coffee hour, and you don't have to be a client if you want to just come for.
Yeah, because I saw at the church they used to have a coffee, like they have a music thing too, is that right? That's
one of our programs. It's under our umbrella, Foothill.
What is?
The Park Coffee House. And they do fall, winter concerts. They do about 5 or 6 in the fall and winter, and they try to do 5 or 6 in the spring, summer. And then they kick off July and August. I don't think they do anything past those days, but all of the committee members or volunteers will sell baked goods, and that money goes towards the food pantry.
I like it.
It's it's nice. It's a nice thing, and they can fit about 60 people, I think she said. We were just talking about this at our council meeting. It was amazing. I didn't realize they could fit that many in there.
Yeah.
What is the new building going in the same plot of land?
It is not.
You guys are jumping ahead of me, and I love that you are, by the way. We keep mentioning this new building. So why would you need a new building?
We've been there for 37 years, like I mentioned, and we have looked into the prospects of putting in an elevator and all of that, because we have 5 to 6 pallets of food that come in every month, not to mention the food that goes back out during our pantry days, and firsthand about the carrying of the food. And it could be a lot. You have a family of 5 and you're having a huge grocery cart full of food going up a flight of stairs. We have clients that are handicapped or elderly, they would never be able to get down the stairs, or we would have to worry about them, pre-COVID coming down, and it wasn't safe. Our thrift shop is on the 3rd floor. So we are separated between 3 floors, between the basement as having the food pantry and pet pantry, our office and bathroom, and the main meeting hall are on the main floor, and then the thrift shop is on the 3rd floor, which there's no windows to open because they're all the stained glass.
Right.
And she has the one door, so it's kind of, especially with the pandemic, it was a little, other than that, we would just like everybody to be able to access all together. Yeah. Be safe. We don't have to worry about the stairs. We've all had issues with the stairs falling, tripping up them. We won't talk about that. So, and because it's an historical building, we cannot do anything to the outside of the building. Right. So it's a little difficult, and the parking is horrendous, to say the least. It's a little side street is what it really is, and the part that you park at for graduations or the Trent Farmers Market, I think there's Mayfair on the Greens coming up, the parking is a lawn. So God forbid you have rain, you're going to have a mud mess. So we try not to do anything to parking on the lawn.
And where are you in the process, Sonia? You guys have already, you've picked out the land, I know that, right? So talk a little about that, would you?
It's, we had rural area, right? So there's not a lot of buildings and stuff to choose from out in this area. So we had to finally settle on a piece of land that was kind of still within the Holland Patton and Rumson school districts. And it's right on the main road, 365, just down the road from where we are now. And it's 3 acres, just over 3 acres, I think it is. And we actually are signing the paperwork soon to actually own the property. So we did some fundraising and all of that, and we're all excited because we just signed the resolution paperwork. Just waiting for that to happen, and then it's time to start leveling and all that good stuff. Concrete pad and all that. I am not versed in that. I have to tell you, I know what I want, but I know how I want it laid out, but I cannot tell you the process that it's got to take.
And what is your vision for it? What do you like, if you were going to try to pull the little cartoon out of your head of what it looks like, explain that to me.
Yes. Well, I guess the best description is just obviously one level, straight through with a driveway going around, enough for a tractor trailer and enough parking for all of our volunteers and clients. That's the outside. The front, I would like to have her thrift shop be able to have, the nice display windows so she can just be at the front of it. And then have maybe 2 different side doors on each side of the building. One, if we have to go back to a drive-through type thing, the client can come in the one door, drive around, the groceries will be ready on the other side of the door. I think we measured it out, and it's anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000 square feet that we would like. I know we could always add on after at a different time, and just to have the garage door in the back, so when the delivery truck comes, it's easy just to drop it and they can go. We don't have to have 15 people held up for 2 hours trying to unload everything. Right. The food bank trucks all have gates that lower, and they all have their own large forklifts to bring everything in. So it kind of frees us up a little bit.
Nice.
But if we were called last month on a tractor trailer that had a pallet of spaghetti, and my husband and I, Jeff, and I went to the base and just started loading it in our truck by hand, because he didn't have a gate that went down. And so, and it worked out okay. Thank God it was spaghetti, not cans, but it all worked out well. In that sense, I'm worried that we have to have some kind of a dock or something.
You mentioned the food bank.
Yeah.
Is it the Food Bank of Central New York, or is there one in the Moth Valley?
No, Food Bank of Central New York services Oneida County, where we're in. 90% of our groceries come from them at the discounted rate, and they offer us grants throughout the year, which is amazing.
We do a lot with them and for them, and we've got a passion for their team, I should say. So I'm excited to hear there's that cross-pollination happening already.
They've been one of the reasons why we were able to grow as big as we are, because it was just personal donations of food and things. Thank goodness, because
They're amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, it is. They're so helpful for anything that we need. We were able to get boxes for the Christmas basket program last year. And who offers boxes, and they did. It was amazing.
Give me a 2-minute soundbite on the Christmas basket. What is that?
Another one of our great programs, widely known throughout our areas, and they serve everybody, seniors, handicaps, children. So if you have a child in the household, they will serve the whole family. So if you have 4 adults that are just middle-aged, no handicap, no senior or anything, they will serve the whole household food that'll probably last them about 3 weeks, honestly, with all the donations that come in. And the child will get presents and clothes and outdoor wear for winter. So it's absolutely amazing.
And how is it? I'm sorry, how is it funded exactly?
Fundraising. It's fundraising, yes. The Chamber of Commerce, Trenton Chamber of Commerce actually helps. They throw one of their, I can't even think what it's called, I'm sorry.
Gala event or something.
Yeah, one of their things, and the Adirondack Bank matches up to like $1,500 or something. So that's a part of it. Yeah. Grants, I write grants for them. Yeah. And private donations all the time. And then people actually pick the names, the tags, like they make tags at Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the churches, everybody, the schools can take the tags, and it tells you what age and what size of clothes and things like that. So
I like it.
Honestly, that's probably the widest range of where things come from is the Christmas baskets. It's just all corners it comes from. It's amazing.
Isn't it funny how it just takes on a life of its own and just kind of crawls out into right? It's crazy.
It really does. And the amount of space, that is honestly the whole meeting area that you walk through, the meeting hall is filled with food from the beginning of December until distribution. So when you see that, it's just amazing. And then the hallways are filled with the gifts and things like that.
So you mentioned grant writing twice. So how has that process been for you?
Let's not talk about that.
But here's the thing, that as much as you might not care for it, and I can add that part up, it sounds like a skill that you had to figure out.
It was. We have most of the grants that we do annually, repetitious. You just have to make sure you get the deadline, you write this out, write that out, give in your statistics and things like that. And it's very, very easy. It's going for the grants that you've never applied for before.
Right. A lot of bureaucracy, right? They want to know exactly how that's going to look.
It is. It's a lot of, I feel the weight of it, because I know we probably should have a person in this position that doesn't deal with everything on hand, because I know I need that money for a reason. Right. And it weighs on me if we don't get the grant, or if we don't get as much that we need. It's not that we're betting on the grants, we're not, budgeting it with it or whatnot, but the better grants that we get, the better I feel. It's just a lot of weight on the shoulders. It's like the person taking care of the family, you got a lot.
At the same time, it's strategic too, because it is good that it's you, right? Because you know how hard you got to push on the gas. Yeah, interesting.
That was one of the main reasons, because I was so afraid that I was afraid that the people that would apply weren't going to have that feeling of need that you have to have. You have to have it, but at the same time, you have to have big shoulders to say, okay, we can get through another month. We don't have to worry about, this or that, or, okay, so we're not offering pineapple chunks this month, that type of thing. You weigh the odds. So you downscale if you need to.
Yeah. So my goal is to figure out how to get in the trenches with you so that margin gets less and less, so that you don't have that, shouldn't bear all that weight yourself, my friend.
I agree.
Man, there's a theme here. There's so many businesses out there, and you can go to the side that says some of them are doing it because they have tax incentives, and there's that piece of it. I don't want to take away from that, but there's also people from their culture perspective. in today's business climate, in my opinion, right? Culture is everything. Hiring people is very difficult right now. When you're hiring someone, you have to prove to them that they're coming into something that's going to make them feel a certain way. And then in order to keep that going, the company needs to be doing. So I think there's probably never been a better time to try to figure out how to connect someone like you and your organization to businesses. And I think you've heard Mike and I've already tried to do it like 2 or 3 times in this conversation, just kind of our nature. But so I think we came together at a good time. There's some good stuff that we can do to get businesses paying attention.
Yeah. I agree. It was perfect timing. So.
Yeah, team building, right? I mean, like getting organizations to get their teams together and going down to an event and do stuff and get some sweat going and maybe as your project evolves with building it, things like that. But we gotta get back to that vision. And then we're crunching out here on time. So I want to get a little bit more vision of what that building looks like, and then what the future looks like from there. So walk-in coolers.
If it was feasible money-wise, we would really love walk-in, walk-out coolers, like kind of just grocery carts, if you think. Push the grocery cart through, grab what you gotta grab, and walk out the other side. That's what I'm looking for. Right now we have 2 freezers and 2 refrigerators, the side-by-side big restaurant type refrigerator freezers. One of them is on the fritz right now, so we have to keep unplugging it to let it defrost and all that good stuff.
So what's that cost? What's one of those costs?
About $5,500. 500 about, and that's getting rid of the other one. They charge us $200 to get it up into. Now
is the coffee part or like the cafe kind of like the entertainment? Is there be a room there where people can gather and do that?
The Park Coffee House is not looking to move with us. Acoustics, sorry, I touched the table. The acoustics of the hall is just too much for them. They just love it. They love how it sounds. They love, they have a system.
Makes sense. It probably feels right. Sounds right, feels right.
It really does. And the old aesthetics of the building is just amazing.
Yeah. So, absolutely.
They will still be under our umbrella because they'll still be giving profits to the pantry. So. Yeah,
you're right. That space, like that building, Mike, that you saw, that picture is behind those doors, correct?
Yeah.
So it has a good feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can come for a visit anytime.
You got it.
Yeah, we're gonna get them out there. I want to get them out there to lug some groceries up and down the stairs.
Oh, perfect. We could always use a carrier.
Yep.
So funny story about lugging food and Mike Durkin. Back in when was it, Mike? When was the turkey?
November.
Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving time. Eric Devendorf, former SU basketball player, had a turkey drive. He is near and dear to how you look at the world. He's an amazing human being that's just doing like really good stuff for other people and he doesn't want the publicity. He's just in the trenches. But anyhow, my point, I have one, is we're in a church, and our job, Mike's and my job, was to carry out these boxes and bags of food. And there was also stairs. I think we probably did a couple of miles that night, right, Mike?
Well, there was 450 turkey dinners. So imagine a banker's box with the stuffing, the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the can of yams or whatever, and 450 boxes that night. And I think the first maybe 50 or 100, the people would come downstairs and grab them. And then we figured out that we need to bring it out to the street. Somebody had a brilliant idea. So they were doing it on the street corner. So as the guys stood outside with boxes and waving cars down, Pete, me, and probably 6 other guys carried 400, 300, whatever it is, boxes.
It was the best cardio workout I had in years.
It was awesome. And it was icy out, and they had we were like, watch your step, and it was crazy, but really rewarding.
Talk about the energy though, right? I mean, we watched the people's, so just being able to witness the people be surprised, because a lot of them didn't even know this was happening. Eric was actually standing out at the street. People are stopping at a light, and he's asking them if they need. It's right in an area where there's no mystery that people need stuff there, and the look on people's faces, the emotion associated, we've been blessed with meeting really cool people and have been kind enough to bring us into their fold.
Well, through this, we met Eric through this.
Yeah.
Through Make the City Smaller.
I have to tell you, my daughter used to cheer with his daughter.
Oh yeah.
Cheerleading, yeah. So I met him. I met the girl's mom. Yeah,
Right.
Great family.
Yeah. He's just doing.
Well, he's doing the Sneaks and Cleats thing. So
Yes.
we had him on Make the City Smaller, and we talked about doing something, and we're doing it right now, and we're gonna. So he's amazing.
Back in 2019, we started giving away the Thanksgiving bags as well.
So happy that we ended up connecting, because I just think there's so many things to come in the future of helping you guys. And what's your expected completion date for the new building? What's your goal? What are you thinking about the fundraising for it? What are you guys thinking?
We're just trying to think of any and everything from the biggest fundraiser to the smallest fundraiser, like a bake scale. We're thinking of everything. Really hoping to be done by fall of next year.
That's reasonable. 18 months seems achievable if everybody starts focusing. But it's probably, $1 million and a half dollar project.
We were hoping to get half of that donated by labor and volunteer hands and things of that nature. We're really hoping. We don't want to have to borrow from a bank if we didn't want to. We wanted to do this by stages, just have it paid for as the fundraisers go. We were able to do phase 1, and that was just to purchase the land within a very short amount of time, fundraising wise.
Maybe it's a good old fashioned barn raising.
That's what I'm after. I'm telling you, we can get the Amish to build it.
Absolutely.
But the electric and the water and the sewer, everything's already on site, because it was a previous
driving range or something? Was that what it was?
It'd be a driving range and a mini golf course, I think it was.
Yeah.
And all that right on site.
What else that we need to know about what's going on, what's happening, and things you want to mention?
I just, the programs, you hit on all of those. It was the pet pantry, the kids' summer bag program, the Christmas bag or the Christmas basket program, which is huge. You just have to see that in action to see organized chaos. That's my favorite saying, because that's what we are. It's organized chaos. To look at it from an outsider, you wouldn't know what you were looking at. We also have a backpack program. We collect school supplies all year long and give them to the local schools, all 4 of Holland Patton and then all of Remsen. So we try to give them to all the needy students. What else do we have going? I told you we started the Thanksgiving bags.
Right.
We don't call it the Thanksgiving dinner because we don't want people thinking that it's a hot dinner to go.
Right.
Yep.
And we were partnering with the local warehouses like Casa and all that. They were doing food giveaways through the United Way. And we just had people, we were 300, 400 boxes of food away all last year and the year before. Someone just contacted me about milk. So it's just amazing. We started the adult diapers, the baby diapers. We hooked up with someone to get a baby diaper grant. We got 10,000 diapers coming in. The adult diapers are in more need of than the baby diapers, surprisingly. Just everything and anything. If someone says, hey, could you use this? Yes, we can. It's an amazing, I'm so proud to be part of it because it's just amazing. We touch and people that we help out and the stories that we hear. Some of them, they break your heart. It makes for a rough day, but then at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the day, I should say, it's a lot better.
It's fuel, right? Those stories fuel your passion, I imagine.
They do. It's heartbreaking, but like I said, at the end of the day, you're able to help that person that more. So. Yeah,
the story that people will be able to tell about what you're doing is where I'm speaking of being proud. I'm proud that someone like you is doing what you're doing. I'm proud that I can be a part of it. Proud that we can help you understand it and get the word out more and lessen that margin that we talked about earlier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's because you still hear people that haven't heard about us, and that's the heartbreaking part of it. To me, sometimes it's like, I've been here for almost 40 years. Everybody should know. It's the biggest little village there ever was, and that's Holland Patton, it seems like. So
yeah, I love that it's coming out of there. It's a beautiful little village and beautiful little town, and there's good people there. I'm so happy that you came on and told a part of your story. We really appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all you do. Oh my goodness.
This is good. Mike, did you want to say something?
No, I was just said it was really nice to meet you. Have a great weekend, and I'll get up there this spring and do a little sweat equity.
Yeah, you should come up during Christmas time just to see us. That's a huge undertaking. You don't have to help. You just witness it.
I like controlled chaos. That's fine.
Thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for coming on, and have a great weekend.
All right. Well, thank you.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, guys.